You're listening to the International Moving Podcast, your guide to moving to another country, brought to you by SDC International Shipping, LA's finest. An international move is exciting. It's a time to start over, establish a new business maybe, reestablish family ties, or retire where your budget will do more for you. Please enjoy today's episode, and if you have any questions about your international move, give us a call at 888-779-3962. That's 888-779-3962. Hey everyone, and this is Jim for SDC International Shipping. You know, relocating from America to Central America for a more affordable cost of living has become an increasingly popular trend among Americans in recent years. And it's easy to understand why, because with the rising cost of living in the United States, many individuals and families are seeking alternative options that offer a more affordable and fulfilling kind of lifestyle. And Central American countries such as Costa Rica, Panama, Belize, and Nicaragua have emerged as some of the top destinations for Americans looking to live a more comfortable life without breaking the bank. From lower housing costs to cheaper health care and a laid-back lifestyle, Central America does have a lot to offer those seeking a change. Today we're going to talk about the various aspects of relocating to Central America for a more affordable cost of living, and we're really going to look into and provide some insights into the different factors to consider before making the move. Let's start by talking about the cost of living in Central America today in 2023. So if you are considering a move to Central America, it's important to research the cost of living in each country because this can vary significantly. I've compiled a data on the cost of living in some of the most popular Central American countries for expats: Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama. And this data includes expenses such as housing, food, transportation, healthcare, and entertainment. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's start with housing cost. Housing is often the biggest expense for expats in Central America, or at least most expats. The cost of housing can vary significantly depending on your location, the type of accommodations, and amenities that you want. In Belize, for example, you can expect to pay between $500 to $1,500 per month for a one-bedroom apartment in a city center, whereas in Costa Rica, a one-bedroom apartment in a city center will cost you between $400 and $1,200 per month. In Panama, the cost of housing is generally lower than in other Central American countries. A one-bedroom apartment, for example, in a city center will cost you between $300 and $800 per month. In El Salvador, you can expect to pay between $200 and $600 per month for a one-bedroom apartment in a city center. By the way, El Salvador is now considered to be the safest country in Central America. Let's talk about food costs. The cost of food in Central America can vary greatly depending on where you shop and what you buy, just like here in the United States. So for example, buying local and cooking at home is always going to be the most cost-effective way to eat no matter where you live. In Belize, for example, let's take a pound of chicken. That will cost you around $2.50. That's pretty good. While a pound of beef will cost you around $4.50. In Costa Rica, a pound of chicken breast will cost you about $2.80, while a pound of beef will cost you around $6.40. In Panama, the cost of food is generally lower than the other Central American countries. A pound of chicken breast will cost you around $2.20, while a pound of beef will cost you around $4.80. In El Salvador, a pound of chicken breast will cost you around $2.10, while a pound of beef will cost you around $4. All right, transportation. Transportation costs in Central America can vary greatly, again, depending on the country and your mode of transportation. In general, let's talk about public transportation because this is the most cost-effective way to get around. In Belize, as an example, if you want a one-way ticket on a local bus, that's only going to cost you around $1. In Costa Rica, a one-way ticket on a local bus will cost you around 50 cents. In Panama, once again, the cost of transportation is generally lower than in other Central American countries. A one-way ticket on a local bus will cost you around 25 cents. El Salvador, a one-way ticket on a local bus will cost you around 20 cents. When we're talking about healthcare, access to healthcare is an important consideration for expats moving to Central America. In general, healthcare in Central America is affordable and is of a good standard. In Belize, for example, if you want to visit a local doctor, that will cost you around $25. In Costa Rica, a visit to a doctor will cost you around $70. In Panama, the cost of healthcare is generally lower than the other Central American countries. A visit to a doctor will cost you around $40, and in El Salvador, a visit to a doctor will cost you around $30. Okay, let's move on to renting versus buying and also retaining American citizenship. When considering relocating to Central America for a more affordable cost of living, one of the most important decisions to make is whether or not to buy the property or rent property. Each country has its own unique real estate market, again with varying prices for both buying and renting. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of buying versus renting in each Central American countries that we previously were talking about. And additionally, while living abroad, many Americans may choose to retain their American citizenship because there are pros to doing this. So while this is possible, there are important considerations to keep in mind. We're also going to discuss the pros and cons of retaining an American citizenship while living full-time in Central America. Some people will want to be there part-time, maybe 6 months out of the year, 8 months out of the year, or even 3 months out of the year. So understanding how all of these things factor in will help you as an individual or you and your family make an informed decision about what type of living arrangements and long-term plans you may want to make or think about making. All right, let's look at renting or buying in Costa Rica. One of my friends has owned properties for many years in Costa Rica. His father bought them and turned them over to him when he passed on, and I don't know if he's going to move down there or not or pass them on to his daughters, but the cost of living in Costa Rica is relatively high compared to the other Central American countries. In terms of real estate, buying a property can be expensive, with prices varying depending on the location. Generally speaking, in popular areas such as the Central Valley or the coastal regions, the prices for a single family home can range between $150,000 to over $1 million. Condos and townhouses tend to be less expensive. Prices can range anywhere from $70,000 all the way up to $500,000. Renting is, of course, a more affordable option. The prices there range between $500 a month to $1,500 a month, depending again on the type of accommodations and the location. All right, renting versus buying in Panama. Panama offers a very favorable real estate market for both buying and renting. The cost of buying property in Panama is relatively affordable, once again, compared to the other countries in Central America. Prices there range from between $100,000 to $500,000, depending on the location and the type of property. Renting is also a very viable option because prices there range between $500 to $1,500 per month. You know, it's funny, I look at these prices myself, and sometimes when you get a little bit older, when you're north of 50, a lot of these prices seem a little bit of a shock, a little higher than maybe you would have anticipated, because you still remember what prices were like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And when you get a little bit older, 10, 20, 30 years ago really doesn't feel like all that long ago. All right, let's move on and talk about buying or renting in Belize. Belize is known for its affordable real estate market, with prices ranging from $100,000 to $500,000 for a home or a condo. That's buying. Renting is also a very popular choice, with prices ranging from $500 to $1,500 per month, again, depending on the location and the type of accommodation. Buying or renting in Nicaragua. Nicaragua has one of the most affordable real estate markets in Central America, with prices ranging from $50,000 to $300,000 for a home or a condo. Renting is also very affordable there, with prices ranging from $300 to $1,000 a month. A lot of people, when they hear rent $1,000 a month, and again, it depends on how long you're going to be there. If you're going to be there full time, you're going to spend $1,000 per month, then it starts to make more sense to consider buying as opposed to renting, because at least your asset will begin to appreciate over time. Now, the pros and cons of living full-time in Central America while retaining an American citizenship. Here are the pros. It's a lower cost of living compared to the United States. You get to enjoy that warmer climate all year long. There's beautiful scenery and access to outdoor activities. You have the opportunity to learn a new language, experience a new culture, and you have access to affordable health care. The cons are you do have to adapt to a new culture and a new way of life. There's no getting around that. There are language barriers if you're a non-Spanish speaker. There are safety concerns, most definitely, in some areas. There are limited job opportunities and lower wages when you compare that to the United States. Also, there's distance from family and friends back home. I know it's one thing to say that, well, we can talk to each other on the phone or Zoom calls or things like that. But I think there's a mental aspect that comes into play when you're actually there full time than when you're not. Also, it's important to carefully consider what all of these pros and cons will look like for you and for your family on an individual basis before you make the decision to relocate to Central America. Retaining American citizenship while living abroad, of course, is possible, but it's also important to be aware of the necessary legal requirements as well as the tax implications. Working with a knowledgeable expat attorney and an expat accountant, for example, can help you quite a bit when it comes to navigating the process as a whole and ensuring that you're in compliance with all of the laws and all of the regulations. So, in conclusion, I have to say that moving to Central America for a more affordable cost of living can be a very exciting and life-changing decision that you make. I know people who are on the brink of making it right now, who are friends of mine living here in the state of Florida. However, it's also important to consider all the aspects of the move, including the real estate options, cost of living, and legal requirements for foreign residents. Now, if you're planning to move from, let's say, California to Central America, SDC International Shipping can assist you with a smooth and stress-free relocation process. We'll help you no matter where you're located, anywhere in the United States or abroad. If you would like our help, SDC International Shipping, with our experience in international moves, we can guide you through the entire process from packing and shipping and making sure your belongings make it through customs and immigration without any problems or issues. Now, if you'd like to get started and get a quote and compare what it would cost for an international move, go ahead and contact us. That way you can get started and take the next step in your journey, whether you wind up moving to a Central American country or another country, Europe, for example, Spain, any of these places. We'd be happy to talk to you, talk about the logistics, how things work, and to give you a quote if that's what you'd like to have. So go ahead and call us today. Reach out to us at 877-339-0267. All right, that's it for today's podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you think it will help a friend, please go ahead and share the episode link with them, and I will see you in the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for listening. Whether you're relocating within the country or moving to the other side of the world, we're here to help from start to finish. Connect with us today at 888-779-3962. That's 888-779-3962.